Hello, everyone. Welcome to Environmental Peacebuilding Association's initiative called Spotlight, in which we are exploring the people and stories behind environmental peacebuilding. And today we are honored to have Janet Edmond. She's a senior director at Conservation International. Janet, welcome to Spotlight.
Great. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. And I would like to ask my first question to you. So could you please tell us about your current job?
Sure. So, like you said, I'm the senior director at Conservation International. And I think my title internally is like Inclusive Partnerships for Sustainable Conservation, which is a little bit nebulous. So I really like to rely on an old title, which was Development of Peace and Development Partnerships, because I think it says a little bit more about, what I work on, which is a range of issues, from conflict sensitivity to environmental peace building to gender and women's empowerment and all things related to the social dimensions of conservation. So.
Wow. So I would like to ask you, how did you choose this career path? How your path evolved like this?
Yeah. I watched some of the other talks and I noticed a couple of them said that the career chose them, which I don't really think is true in my case because I started out, actually originally I started out in nursing school when I first started my undergrad at Boston University. And I couldn't take chemistry. I just couldn't do it. So I had to switch. And I was like, oh, I think I'd like international relations. Let me go over to liberal arts. So that theme of kind of adaptive management and trying things and learning that maybe they weren't so good and trying something else was definitely a theme of my career. But I ended up in international relations, and environment and development was a big passion. So I worked for World Wildlife Fund in the US and then ended up getting a lot of great exposure in Madagascar. That was like the first country I went to do budgets actually for US Agency for International Development, and really saw on the ground, how resource degradation, forest degradation, poverty, health, how everything is so connected. So that theme is kind of gone throughout my life. And I've been at Conservation International now. I honestly cannot believe it will be 20 years in January. It's been a really long time and I've done a lot of different things. But again, like the through line is the social dimensions of conservation, and have been very fortunate to work with a lot of great people in a lot of different sectors, always very collaborative, multi-sectoral work, and that continues with the Environmental Peacebuilding Association and all the great work that partners are doing. So, but I definitely had.
It is really a fascinating.
Oh, sorry. I just I forgot to say, I definitely had to choose at one point, especially when I was thinking about graduate degree. Do I want to do health or do I want to do environment? And in some ways, I felt like it was like a false choice. I wanted to do both. But I definitely had to decide, the path was diverging in the woods and I had to decide. So I ended up going with health and I got a master's in public health. And then I did 2 years of Peace Corps combined with it, where I was able to do a little bit more on the environment side. I did a water sanitation and hygiene project. I did a lot more kind of on the environment side. So trying to merge the two. And that's what I've been doing at Conservation International.
So you work at the intersection of many issues like health, social dimension, and the environment, and across multiple sectors. So it's very fascinating, but it has, of course, it must have its own challenges. So what were the challenges you were facing when you had these multiple experiences?
Yeah, I think definitely bridging sectors and learning how to kind of understand each other and each other's objectives and outcomes, and how to do it in a way that's engaging and maybe conflict sensitive is a good word, right? We all have our different objectives and often they may be the same. We're going for human well-being and conservation, but we come at it from very different ways. So I think some of the challenges we're trying to understand each other, build trusting relationships, really working through maybe some differences in theories of change, and really trying to address the gaps that are there. I think that's kind of one of the biggest ones. And then maybe just making sure we're keeping an eye on our objectives and our outcomes, and that we're all getting kind of on the same page. That's also kind of a challenge, right? Consensus building and conflict resolution also can be very challenging.
Yeah, I mean, very potential pathways, but also unforeseen and some visible challenges. So, so I would like to ask you the other side of the question, like what were the rewarding moments that you would like to share?
Yeah, this is such a great question, and I really thank you for this opportunity to reflect. Sometimes you get so caught up in day-to-day stuff, you don't step back and you're like, oh yeah, like this is great, this has happened, right? Sometimes you get so bogged down, but some of the biggest rewards, I have to say, one of the things that was really changing at Conservation International and a lot of other environmental groups was like back in 2010, 2011, 2012, I was part of a team that was across the organization, right? It was like people in headquarters, people in every part of the field programs that we work with, all the systems, operational, legal, all that. We came together and we had what we called our rights-based approach kickoff workshop. So we really looked at all the work that CI was doing across the many countries, from parks and protected areas to sustainable landscapes to oceans. And we looked at like what the underlying human rights issues were. And we really examined our practice and how we could do a better job of respecting human rights and promoting governance and working in partnership. So we really built our human rights framework, our rights-based approach, we called it. And that was launched in 2012 and had really been the operating, underpinning of all of our work. And recently it's kind of changed into environmental social management systems and frameworks. And it's very much, that idea that we need to do the best we can to work with the people in the communities where we're working and others that we work with. And so I feel like that was one of the greatest things. And that really laid the foundation for working on gender and women's empowerment, which I'm so excited that was like one of the first things we did under that rights-based approach. And it was like, it wasn't me, it was bringing in other people who were very talented and who could move it forward. And so it was like, that's one thing I'm really happy about, is like setting things up so others can succeed and really do the work really well. Same on the peace building side, we've had like great staff taking that forward, including Nora, who's on the call, and Lydia before her, and Brittany before her, and Colleen. We've just had so many great people that have been working on this portfolio. So the inspiration that we see in our staff, how they can better address conflict now and understand it and have become champions, I think that's been huge. And our relationship we've had with the Peace Nexus Foundation, which really gave us our first grant in environmental peace building, conflict sensitivity, that really sparked a lot of not only internal interests, but external partnerships as well. So that's been very rewarding. So,
I mean, witnessing all of this progress from multiple, institutions and also within the people's experiences sounds very exciting. And I would like to ask you that, who would like to witness their own progress, especially young people, so in the field of environmental peace building? So I would like to hear like your recommendations for them.
Yeah, it's it's hard because every situation is different, right? Yeah. You and I were talking before about Trevor Noah, right? I mentioned that one of the things about his Born a Crime book that struck with me was his ability to learn so many different languages, and really how that helped him and benefited him in his transition to becoming very successful. And so I think having multiple languages is really important, not everybody can do that, but I think at least having one other. I know when I look at resumes and applications, like those are usually, you know, French, Spanish, Portuguese, because of the places that we work. But having any other, you know, other language is good. This again is not for everybody, but I definitely recommend people do some sort of international cultural exchange service project. I did the Peace Corps, and it took me a long time to do the Peace Corps. I applied right out of college, and they didn't really want a liberal arts degree person at the time. So they told me to go get practical skills. So I volunteered in the health clinic. And then when they offered me something after I had volunteered, they were like, okay, you can be an agriculture volunteer. And I was like, actually, I want to do health. So that Peace Corps experience and doing health, which opened up other opportunities, I think that's like really critical, is for people to get that experience. It used to be kind of a defining thing, I think, in the international development field. Now I think there are many more options, right? Teaching English overseas somewhere for a year or two, also very, very helpful. And other kind of experiences like that, right? Other service organizations. So I think that, and maybe the other thing that I always, I think people need to have like a systems approach. And I know we like throw that term around a lot. But I worked on a health system strengthening project for a little while, and it really was helpful to see how everything fits together. So when you are trying to problem solve or roll out a project or implement something, understanding how all of the pieces are connected, and the finance people and the admin people and the, you know, all of the different elements have to come together, and to do that in a way that really brings cohesion is super important, and I think leads to program success. So those are just some things, you know, like knowing how to do a budget is really important. Right.
I mean, I think many people, young people, will appreciate these advices. Personally, me, definitely. So I would like to ask you also, since you mentioned also, you touched upon some of them, like regarding how concept of environmental peace building is seen. So have you seen the field of environmental peace building evolve and grow over the course of your career?
Yeah, it's such a fascinating question. And I was just teaching a class with Carl Brook from Environmental Law Institute, head of the Environmental Peacebuilding Association. We were teaching a class this weekend and reflecting about how much has changed, right, in the last 10 years, where you had a lot of different people who were doing things along this line, but it wasn't necessarily something that was defined as a community. And now it is a community. And I know having the journal and having the association and having the conference, like these are some of the indicators and the markers of this environmental peace building field really having evolved through the dedication and commitment of many different people, and that going way, way back, you know, with UN Environment and Carl and a lot of other academic stars that we still have with us, which is fantastic, right? So I think for me, like seeing how people that I work with and people who are really like addressing these issues every day, how they really understand the dynamics, conflict dynamics, and the real importance of greater understanding, and that kind of like being humble and asking and active listening, those conflict communication skills, seeing that really come to life in a lot of our different work. I think it's really very uplifting. And the fact that we have so many more, like the Environmental Peacebuilding Association knowledge platform has been fantastic. And now you're seeing more and more options, right? More venues for the information to get out, and more stories, right? Which is great.
I mean, witnessing and reflecting all these experiences and stories and how it evolves is very important. So these are all of my questions. On behalf of the entire team at Environmental Peacebuilding Association, we sincerely appreciate your valuable contribution and time. It was an honor to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for organizing, for all your great work. Really appreciate it.